Strive for improvement. Time for the blueprint. Minds to elevate, thrive, and demonstrate, planting a movement. Sow the seeds, educate the flourish, building up the team. Our network with purpose, industry is green. Only scratch the surface, know this call is deep. Nobody gon' outwork us. Yeah, we chasing greatness, trying to give the code. Moving up with patience, foundation stone. Doing what it takes, we're here to break the mold. This for anyone who wanna level up. Let's grow.
What is up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Plant Movement Podcast. This is going to be the last episode for 2024. Hope you guys are pumped. We got Eddie over here at the desk. I hope you guys are just having an awesome day wherever you are today. I hope you're looking at life, through an optimistic lens, thinking positive, because that's, at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. Positivity is what creates opportunities in a positive light and just makes the day go by that much better. So, guys, let's jump right in. This episode, we titled it The 5 Things That We're Not Going to Be Doing for 2025. And there's a lot to learn. I feel like 2024, at least for us, was a year of growth, exponential growth, because it was a painful year. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. It was a year of adjustment, okay? So for some, it hurts more than others. And, that's all depends on what you got going on. But when you put the pressure up against you and then things shift, there's just more growth that comes from it, because you have to extract the positivity out of whatever's going on. So I'm going to call 2024 the year of growth.
Sounds good.
Yeah. I think
a lot of things. No, the year of learning.
Of learning. It's a year of learning. It was a year that adjusted a little bit. A lot of things that we all learned as an industry. And I feel like that's what it was. I feel like we learned a lot in 2024. Mm-hmm. And I feel like the industry grew. I feel like everyone I talked to, the guys that were, doing great, learned how to become greater. And then the guys that weren't doing so great, you guys have been able to extract things and learn and grow from as a person. I feel like it's been more of an in-depth learning process just on life.
Yeah, how to be a better businessman.
Better everything. Mm-hmm. You got to show up for yourself in a way big time first. You have to gain the confidence to do things right, to show up, to be ready to present yourself and present whatever it is that you're going to service or create for the community, for the end consumer. You have to show up, ready as a human being first. Mm-hmm. And I feel like there's been a lot of growth in that aspect too. But man, I'm excited to talk about these 5 topics.
Well, it's more than 5.
It's more than 5, I know.
I think we should name it a little different.
A little different?
Yeah, it's not 5 things. It's just top things I won't be doing next year as a wholesale plant nursery.
There we go. Yeah. Top things we won't be doing as a wholesale nursery, guys. All right, so one of the things that we battle a lot with over here, especially having 9 locations, soon to be 10, working on the 20-acre farm, is guessing what inventory we have. We don't have an inventory management system, and that's something that is good. It's good to have. But
it's vital in a way.
It's vital when you need it.
Yeah.
It's vital when you get to that step, right? So we're a small business that has been growing, and it gets to a point where, you're losing money by not knowing what you have, because we have buyers that, and deadlines and stuff that we got to come through right now on, and they might oversee something. So then that oversee something could be $10,000 of plants that got purchased and sold from some other nursery when we had it sitting here. Not to that extent, but it happens, And then when you add up the little things, the 10s and the 5 and the 20 of this and the 50 of that, by the time you look at the end of the year, it's like, man, I might have not sold $40,000 or $50,000 of our inventory, just because we overlooked it.
Mm-hmm. So it's just losing profits at the end.
Losing profits, but it's being more prepared, right? And there's levels to when you're supposed to do this. You have a few acres, you can have your inventory, of course. Not saying you can't, and you can have a little store and have your inventory. I think that's great, but for us, it's just been we know there's a bunch there, so it's okay.
Right.
So it's getting more into that seriousness of, jumping up to the next level of what the company should have. And it should have an inventory system. It should have one person in charge of making sure that is, done properly. And then that one person can do some marketing.
Yep.
While they're not, counting plants.
Yeah, and keeping up with your Planet, your Plant Finder, and things
keeping
like
up with
that.
everything. And it brings growth. And then that allows us to do so much more, because now you have inventory, you have an inventory management. Now it's like, man, I can give access to my garden center, And now he knows what I got.
Exactly.
You know, I can give, you know, like there's so much opportunity from it. But first you got to show up prepared, which is back to what we're talking about. So this, I feel like, is something essential for where we are today.
Yeah, and there's now too like good platforms like Planiful that could help you with your inventory management.
Yeah, there's Planiful that we interviewed him, and that whole thing is game changing because it's catered to our industry.
Right.
So all the terminology, and we also spoke with David the other day, and he got two people.
Yeah, recently.
Two people from listening to the podcast jumped on so far to work with him that we know of, and it's been really, really great. So speaking of that, is the next one is marketing. Marketing is another thing that like one thing that we're not going to be doing this year is not marketing on every platform.
Right.
Meaning that we are going to exhaust all options possible to market more.
Yeah, just to be in people's eyes.
Just to be in people's eyes. And so there's Plant, there's Plant Finder. These are platforms for our industry. They're the two biggest ones. And if you're growing plants, you want to be there. If you're buying plants, you want to be there because those are the plugs. That's where you get connected in the industry. So on this topic of marketing is something that as a business, you want to always be marketing. It doesn't matter how many clients you have, what you got going on. You always want to be fresh. You always want to be out in people's ears, and you just want to gain as many eyes as possible.
Yeah.
But one thing we cannot forget, guys, is servicing our existing customers. We can't get so caught up on who's out there, who's next, when there's things that you're not providing that you should be providing to existing clients that can help you stand out. One thing, like I've said before, I love to reach out to new clients and ask them if there's anything that we can do to service you guys better, because I want that critical feedback. I want you to hit me and tell me, dude, this sucked. Yeah. Dude, this was great. I love this, but I don't like that, and I wish this. Perfect. Let me jot all this stuff down, go back to the team and see what we can do to make it happen.
Correct.
We forget the blessings that we have right in front of us, and one of them is serving the people that have your trust and showing up for them in ways that we haven't. So that's one thing that was on my mind when I was thinking about this, is serving those that you already have. Are you giving them 100%? Are you? Or are you giving them 70? Are you doing just enough? You know, I'll do it later. No, it's okay. Don't worry. Nah, we'll send him those. It's okay. He'll eat it. He'll figure it out. What are you doing to really come through for those that are here today? I'll leave you with that. Next one.
I like that though. That was good.
Oh, so this one is the new motto for us here at 2025 is respect. And it's respect yourself. No longer accepting what people say. I'm only going to go based off people's actions. You know, one thing I realized, guys, and I realized this, I have been somebody that, and you guys that are trying to build something could be the same way. You want to showcase who you are, what you have, what you can bring to the table, not in an arrogant way, but in a serving type of way, where you'll go above and beyond for somebody before they show up for you. Okay, and that's a tendency that I've realized that I've had, where it's like, man, I get the opportunity to work with this big builder. I get the opportunity to work with this super big landscaper. It's all great. So I'm like willing to do things that I wouldn't normally do. So I'll tell the staff, hey, we can't do this. But then with that person, it's like, hey, we could do that with them. So it's things that before they show up and show me who they really are, just based off of, let's say, credibility, or let's say like what we see, or let's say what they say, they don't show up in the back end. So I'm showing up. To give you an example, holding product, upfronting things to be able to do like a big landscaping. Let's say you have a big landscape job, and it's in phases and you want everything to match. So on our side, being the plant grower and the plant sourcer, our job is to make sure we have everything in the tiers that they want it, when they want it. And that's an access, that's like a service that we provide in the relationship realm of joining teams with a company to execute this big thing, right? So I feel like it's super vital to be doing that. But the respect comes into perspective for at least for me, is I would go and say, all right, it's on, you got it, you got the contract, let's go. And depending on who it was, I wouldn't ask for money, I wouldn't ask for nothing, because I was expecting things, right? Because that's how I work.
Right.
But not everyone works the way I work.
Yeah, you're very trusting when it comes
very
to
trusting. So I would instantly jump in, and I can.
Yeah, you don't want to feel regret.
Yeah,
You no longer want to have that burden of, okay, this person didn't come through. Now I got to eat up this inventory that we have holding for them.
Yeah.
So now you're going to continue doing it for your ride or dies.
Yeah.
Your people that you've been in business with, and they come through every single time. But you're not going to be so lenient when it comes to new customers.
These are lessons, guys. These are lessons. Everyone shows up, especially when you're doing things. I know we're making noise. I know that good people want to work with good people. Right. And I know this, guys. So as you go climbing a ladder, you're going to get more people with eyes on you. You're going to get more people reaching out to you, more people wanting to work with you, which is great. But you got to learn how to decipher, what's a good intention, what's a bad intention.
Right.
And then aside from that, you got to put pressure on them. It's like, hey, I can take care of all of this for you and respect myself, respect my team. But guess what? You got to give me the money up front. Right. And if there's no money up front, then it is what it is. Yeah. That's something that I've realized big time. Yeah, and that, you're so nice. You make it so easy because you want to service so well that there's a level of disrespect.
And taking like kindness for weakness.
Kindness for weakness.
Yeah, in a way. You just want to continue being able to provide these services. But first comes, show me what you guys actually do. Yeah. Are you putting your money up front? Yeah. At least taking things so it's more professional, I guess.
We get a lot of that, guys, and you guys can relate. You guys that are selling and you guys are on, let's say, social media, you get exposure there, and then someone calls you or reaches out, and they're gonna paint this big picture, or they're gonna boast, or they're gonna do whatever it is that they gotta do to try to get in the doors. Of course. But when it's time to really dance, who's gonna show up? Make sure you always show up. I know, Eddie. I know they're listeners, so they show up.
Yeah, of course.
You guys know how important it is to show up and how to come through, and let the other person be the bad guy at the end of the day. But you do what's right every single time, even if it hurts you. You learn from it, guys. Learn from it, and I feel like that's what 2024 has been for me. A super big learning curve on a bunch of different things, but it's deeper. The growth is like very deep within. Yeah,
so respect yourself and respect your business.
Respect, guys, respect. And then also on the respect thing is also with your teammates, teach respect amongst the guys, amongst the crew. Respect, guys. You hear somebody saying something that's not respectful to a coworker, call them out on it. Call them out. Do what's right, guys. I don't know. I feel like that's what this year needs to be, 2025. All right, next thing.
Yeah, with that, it's like the next thing, which is no longer giving your time away.
Giving my time away. It goes hand in hand. Also giving time away. People want a lot of stuff
for free.
Yeah, they want a lot of stuff for free, which is cool and it's great. Yeah. And then I know that God has, us in a position to give back. And I know this. But we still have to respect our time, because there's people, there's ways of doing things. You want to reach out to somebody, guys. If someone wants to reach out to you, they should, shoot you a text. Hey, can I talk to you at this time? Right. Be more formal and appreciative of the other person on the other side, not just look at it like, how can I get personal gain? How can I get all this value for me? And who cares about anybody else? I feel like that was something that was happening a lot this year, that came to a realization of, hey, dude, you spent 40 minutes talking to, 3 different people throughout the day, and we couldn't execute everything on the task list because, but then I also look at it as, depending on the conversations, where there's a lot of conversations that are super monumental, they have nothing to do with business, but they have to do with a relationship. And that right there, to me, is not wasting time.
Right. But that's why we also do provide, mentor things through our plant, the plant movement, where people could actually sign up and, we could do courses, and we could do a lot of things through that. Yeah.
And that's not just a course, guys, because I know it's another course or another course.
No, not a course.
When we sat down to do this, we thought about doing a course. And I told Eddie, I said, dude, there's no way we can do a course, because there's not one way to do it.
Well,
you can't
Let's just say yet.
Yet.
Right now at the beginning stages of this.
I know, but truly I feel like everybody, when it comes to these courses, man, I feel like they can be good, but it's general knowledge.
Yeah, it is.
And I feel like people that listen to us and that are following along, they have something already rolling, or they're trying to roll into something. And it's just the next step. How do you get to that next step?
Maybe in the future, you guys could let us know in the comments if you want a course of Business 101, starting your nursery 101, something we could build together.
We would love the
future.
feedback. Yeah. And you can maybe even be a part of it.
Of course.
Guys, the opportunities are endless, especially the way we see this industry and what we're doing and what we're building. Walking alone, no longer walking alone, guys. Faith for me has been super monumental. It's been more open over the past couple years, from what I learned, because back in the day, what was stuck into me was you don't talk about politics and you don't talk about religion in business. And I get the reasons why 100%. But what I do get also is that we're on our mission, at least my mission here on earth, is to also, let people know that God exists and that he loves you.
And shine light.
Shine light. Mm-hmm. So since that's something that's more important to me than really anything else at the end of the day, that's something that I have to do. And then also, like, it comes into the pressure side, where you're trying to figure things out on your own. And at the end of the day, nothing's really in your control.
Right.
And that's something that we have to always remember. It's like, man, if we have anxiety and we're scared about the future, it's like, where's our faith, guys? That's the faith we talk about. No, man, thank God. Thank God. Where, why aren't you leaning on him? And that's something that I realized too, because we went through a big phase. We had a 2-month drop in sales that was rough. And for a business that produces cash flow every month to be able to pay bills, when you take out 2 months of, negative numbers, it gets you thinking in a downward spiral. Not a downward spiral, but it gets at least me thinking in a combative way on how to slow down the fall, how to put pillows and stuff down so we don't smash, which I know it's not going to happen because there's too many things that have been done consistently over and over, years and years of dedication, putting stuff away, investing into real estate, investing into the right things, always putting away for later, main focus from day one. So,
and speaking in regards to that, it's not something uncommon. It's something that happens from year to year. These last few years been very up.
No, it's been, yeah.
So it's falling into a norm again.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Right now, it's a different year.
Yeah.
It's a different year.
It's more
an
back,
adjustment.
Yeah, adjustment like back before pre-COVID.
It's an adjustment, right? So it's like, man, so many things are going through your mind. Where for me, it's like, man, I gotta have trust in God, and I'm looking and I'm searching for the answers, right? The Bible says you seek and you shall find. So I am seeking, and I'm like, God, show me. What should I do here? What should I do here? What should I do here? And I'm just watching what's going on in my life, and I'm acting based off of my faith, and I'm walking in faith. So what happens there? I had guys tell me, boss, if you need me, don't pay me this week. And I'm like, dude, it's going to be all right. Because I don't know where their mindset is, but they know we weren't selling the way we normally do. So I know everybody was in a freak out stage. My mind was already past this.
And they're also going based off how slow it was for a while.
Exactly.
So they were concerned about it.
And it's not just us. It ends up being the whole industry. And then these guys, talk to everyone else around. And that's just how it rolls. Yeah. My mind was already past that. Because that was already taken care of. Because before we even got into that hurdle, I already knew, and I already started putting everything in place a long time ago, and also made a few adjustments that God showed up 3 months before, and he slid in and just concreted it in, that I was already on the up and up path. So my mindset was, why am I going to stay stagnant here? We need to continue doing this. We need to focus on this. We need to focus on that. And then working every single day to make that a reality. There's a lot of things, guys, that we need to do, but we're so focused on the negative. The next,
and also the next.
That we're not taking the time to nurture what we have right now. And it can be as simple as just a mind shift of your employees, where you show up and you have a smile on your face and you tell them, hey, everything's going to be okay. We already got it figured out. God's in control. And that's it. You shift their whole perspective. It could be something like that. There's a lot of reasons, a lot of scenarios.
I guess, and also the main thing to take out of that is have faith, and also be set up for bad times.
Oh man,
always look forward to drops.
Yeah, what I get from that too, Eddie, is selflessness. That is so very needed, man. To scale anything, where you have your people on board.
Okay.
You have to be selfless, dude. You literally have to. You show up every day for, people say, your family. So let's say you don't have a family. You're showing up for your client, man, for your opportunity. For me, I'm showing up every day for what God wants me to do. Right. That's what I ask him every morning. Put me where you need me, and let me shine for you, whatever that may be. But, that's where I am today. And also, I think I lost my train of thought on this. When it comes to talking about faith, or it comes to politics or anything like that, at the end of the day, guys, what you're doing and what we've seen is you're shifting into the clientele that aligns with you. Okay. Yeah. So that's something very scary to try to overcome, which is something that we've overcome, or I've overcome based off of what was drilled in my head all these years versus what I did in my walk, in my life, is I'm more open with it, and I don't care. And at the end of the day, the people that reach out are going to be the great people
that you want to work with.
That I want to work with. I don't want to, look, we've talked on here about people, we've bashed people on here that don't pay right. You think any of us want to work with that person? No. Right. So the best thing to do is, not bash them, but in a kind way, talk about how they need to change and call them out. You're not doing anything bad. If anything, you're helping somebody. Okay. I see it as something positive. And we've had positivity. I did a story and I posted on the Plant Movement that a gentleman owed money, listened to the podcast, got touched by it, how I'm calling him out on how he should do what's right to open these doors up again. And he did it.
Well, and you're also hearing a man that's really hands-on. Like, this is not like a common thing with all businesses. Mm-hmm. You do spread love, and you do spread, how do I say, a lot of, you want to create a relationship with people. Mm-hmm. So you do a lot of things outside of a normal business. Mm-hmm. It's like you do have conversations with your customers. You do, see where they're at. You see, if things are wrong, you want to guide them into, a better light, know. So it's like you also do take it upon yourself to be really hands-on and involved with your customers, because you want to build that type of relationship. Because a lot of things that you're saying now is not a common practice with a lot of businesses.
That's true. You're right.
It's like, a lot of business, this is the price, this is it. This is what it's going to be. You want it at this time, we're going to be there. But you actually take the time to speak. Hey, what do you have going on? Yeah, I know there's, you're a little slow. You're a little behind on some payments. Is there something that we could do? That's a lot of more, personal. Like what A's is. It's more really like it's very family owned. It's not like a corporate type of style of business where, the sales lady is going to be like, sorry, we don't have that, call back tomorrow, see if we have it. It's more,
you need one tree, dude. Yeah. Is this a big job? Yeah. It's a centerpiece. Yeah. So this is going to create opportunities for you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, let's go. Yeah. Let's go find it. Even if it was one tree.
That's all I was trying to say is like a lot of things that you speak of when it comes to like helping people or, speaking to the right people that you want to align with. Mm-hmm. It's not always common practice. No, it's more you're very hands-on personal relationships with your customers, and not every business is like that. So,
but I feel that brings so much confidence to the table. I've sat with these guys that have garden centers that are scratching their head trying to figure out how they're going to sell a product. And then we go in there, and we've been there with another client, because we've been servicing for a long time. Right. So it's easy to tell them, yo, look, this is what we did over here. It worked, and boom, we implemented, boom, and we shut it down. Here's 4 ways that we can help you today. Number 1, the Plant Movement Podcast. Guys, we all have something inside of our soul that called us to do what we're doing today or to get into what we're going to do. Come over here and pour it out on the mics. Number 2, A's Ornamental Nursery, guys. You're having trouble locating product or you're really trying to level up in the space, reach out, guys. We would love to talk to you. Number 3, if you need your product shipped throughout the state of Florida, guys, Plant Logistics is here. The drivers at Plant Logistics, guys, are professionals. They know how to handle your plants with care and get them there on time. Number 4, if you're looking to really level up and grow a better product, you already know, guys, thenurserygrowers.com. Check them out, guys. Without further ado, let's jump back into the podcast.
Right.
And the same thing with a landscaper. It's intimidating. You guys are going after these big things. It's like, man, I'm going after bigger. How do you do it? Do you have the money? Do you know what you're getting yourself into? It's like, yeah, I got the money. All right, cool. Or this guy's going to pay, up front. Cool. You got like a private big landscape. Cool. Right. No problem. What product are you going to take? You're going to wait till the last second? Like, what are you going to do? Who's your team? Right. You can't do, if your norm is $15,000, $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 landscape. Now you're taking on a $300,000 landscape. You can't show up with the same mentality. Right. You can't show up with the same team. You got to have more people. Right. And it's not just more people from Home Depot. It's not that. It's actual people that are smart, because now you're getting into territory where you need like professionals in their game to do something, to show up. And for me, man, the relationship, man, it builds so much confidence, Eddie. Mm-hmm. It builds so much confidence, man. You show up and you tell them, look, dude, this is boom, boom, boom. And you figure the whole thing out in 2 seconds. The guy, he's instantly like, wow, man, thank God, you know? Like, we're going to go and we're going to hammer it down. And that's what that's about. That's what that relationship is. Exactly. I have conversations with some of you guys listening that are deeper than I've had with people that I've been around me my whole life. Right. And the growth is so similar, and the problems are similar, and the stress, and then home, and then you have kids, and then you're married, and then the devil's trying to attack you all over the place. Right. You get me? The enemy, man. Right. So how do you do this? You're trying to do what's right, but then you get hit over here. So now how do you walk? It's like, man, I don't know, man. This is what I'm going through in my life, and it's for me, it's a blessing to hold and carry this burden of having to peel back the layers. Because what it does is it sets me up for these conversations that God's going to put me in.
Right.
The rooms He's going to put me in. I can't wait.
Right.
I'm excited. I love walking with my back against the wall. I love being in that pressure. And that's me. But I know that grows me. I don't want to feel stagnant. I don't want to feel, it's easy. I don't want it to be easy. Easy doesn't show growth, guys. You know, I spoke with my neighbor the other day. He's doing canines, and I asked him how much money he had put away, and he told me. And I asked him how much money he needed, and this is something that I'm going to ask you guys, but I'm not. I don't know who you are on the other side. How much money do you have put away? How much money do you need as a safety net? If you have more than your safety net, what are you doing with that extra funds? And this is what I told him. I told him, dude, what can you do right now that can make a crazy move? Okay, because we're still on the marketing topic. What can you do with that money right now that'll make a crazy move to position you in a
better
niche?
position? Oh,
exactly.
yeah.
In a better position or in a niche,
Right.
like literally target you into a new market or in that market, strengthen you in the market. What can you do with that? So since he's doing like training dogs to sit, pee outside, all that stuff, but he's a canine dog. He's a canine police
specialist.
officer.
Yeah, police
So
dogs.
yeah, and he loves this. So his move is go get a dog from Germany.
Okay.
Bring it in. It might be 15 grand. But if you train that dog to be the best, and now you show up with a dog that outperforms other dogs, everybody's going to look at you. It's a move to position yourself. Cash flow, guys, it doesn't just show up. You got to go create it.
Give us an example for example, a landscaper.
A landscaper is maybe upfronting money to get the product, to hold the product so it's bigger. Hey, can you hold the product so in 3 months I have 16-inch Trenet instead of 10-inch Trenet? Things like that.
It's like setting yourself up for the future is what you're saying.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's setting yourself up for the future.
Yeah.
But it's moves that can create opportunities, big opportunities down the road.
Okay.
It's positioning yourself.
And what about for like a garden center?
A garden center will be some of the same thing. What can a garden center do to stand out? One, have material that no one has around the town. That's the first thing. I mentor all these guys that have garden centers or they want to start a nursery and they're here or there. And what do they want to start with? Clusia and podocarpus.
Right.
The same thing that every guy down the street has.
Right.
So why would you want to start and compete in a market that's already saturated?
Yeah.
And then what are you going to try to do? You're going to try to get $1 more? Like, what are you going to do? So let's say you do want to do that. What do you got to do? You got to bring in value. So you got to bring in something that's bigger than what everyone has.
Right.
So you could do that, but you got to wait longer. Is it worth $1? I don't know. Is it? So it's like stand out, bring in product that no one else has. How do you know what no one else has? Because you go there, you see it with your eyeballs. Use Plant An and Plant Finder as tools that you can do it on the toilet at home.
Right.
And you can see what your neighbors have.
Toilet at home.
So it's showing up with something that's different, but also knowing that there's a market for it.
There you go.
Okay? Position yourself. Next thing.
I like that.
And I love you guys, man. You guys that are listening, for us, you guys mean the world to us. You have no clue. And we love you. We genuinely love you. So this next one that we will no longer be doing is cheaping out on fertilizers or even soil for this. It falls under this category. I learned the hard way. We got a cheaper fertilizer proposed to us from a good brand, but it wasn't the brand that we normally use, which would be the best brand in my opinion for what we grow. And we saved some money. But by saving some money,
You lost money.
we lost money because the plants didn't do well with it. So we ended up having to go other routes, and then it was a lot of labor and a lot of extra chemicals and stuff to be able to get the plant back to how it should be, and that we won't be doing. So buy what you need. Buy the good stuff the first time, guys. Trust me.
Yeah.
And that you can relate it to soil, you can relate it to fertilizer, you can relate it to everything, even everything that you do. I would always try to just get the better one, the better version. Because once you do that, it's like you're thinking about the end result. You're thinking about the clients. Where's it going to go? Their customer. So you're looking out for more than just yourself, than your pocket. And once you do that, that's how you fill up your pockets.
And with that being said, also, if you guys need help applying fertilizers and applying things, we have the Nursery Growers.
Which is going very well.
And it's going very well. Yeah, we have a new client and stuff like that. And we have a lot of, it's taken away the pressure of knowing exactly what you need to grow a better product.
Yeah.
And we would apply for you as well. So
Yeah, it's a no-brainer, and it's something very good, and I can't wait to see what the future holds. Yeah. But we're doing it. We're putting it where our mouth is. Yeah. That's for sure.
That's for sure.
So the next one, guys, is no longer investing or diversifying out of our niche, out of what we know, out of our realm. And this is something big for you guys because the influence, guys, is huge. If you're watching us on Instagram or anything, that means the influence that you have is of the rest of the world as well. And there's a lot of things that are like those new things that pop up where it's like, oh, I got to jump on. You have that FOMO, fear of missing out syndrome. And then the other things is people showing up and, you know, trying to guide you into an opportunity. It's different it's different than what you're aligned to do. Now, this can be different for different people. I said different a lot.
Yeah, I heard a lot of difference.
So this can be, for depending on where you're at, it can work differently. If you're somebody that has something existing and you have extra money, cash flow, and you want to put it into different things, it's a little bit different than if you don't have anything and you're starting out and you're just jumping around. One, I would definitely stick to one thing and go as hard as you can there and invest all your money into, you know, either making the best product or providing the best service. But let's say you're existing and you have cash flow. Where do you put it? Where do you put it? That's the big thing. Do you go start a business with your buddy and something else that now takes away from what you're doing here? Is that aligned with you? Do you feel called to stay? I feel called to stay here. Right. Some of you guys might feel called to go do something else, your next adventure, what excites you.
Or you try to throw it in stocks and you never dealt with stocks in your life.
Exactly. All those type of things. For me, it was do a cow farm.
Yeah.
I got proposed to do a cattle farm, and it was great. It was a great thing. But tried to rent a property, couldn't rent it. So I was like, you know what, let's go buy one. It was great. I was able to defer some taxes and make some moves. It was great. But it ended up being a huge learning lesson because I couldn't be there. I'm focused on this, not just the plant movement, but, you know, this industry, the horticulture industry, the business that provides food for all the employees and all the people we buy products from. That's what I'm more focused on. It wasn't growing cattle.
Yeah.
So therefore, I wasn't there.
It was far away.
It was far away. Therefore, I couldn't be there. Therefore, the moves that I needed to make, I couldn't make because I wasn't there. Right. And it taught me a huge lesson as it started to deteriorate, and it was costing a lot of money every month. I called it bleeding. It was bleeding out money every month that could have been going into something else, but it was going there. So it was a lot of like just having to, you know, get away from all of that, having to sell stuff off. And luckily enough, guys, I'm sitting here today, and on the 30th, the property is actually being sold. So God is finally, thank you, Lord, closing that chapter means we learned what we needed to learn, unless we go back later and think of something else, but what we needed to learn in that chapter. And the biggest thing that I learned was, hey, dude, stay right here, stay where where he wants us to be, and make the moves in here to better everyone around here more. Exactly. So that's a big takeaway from that. So you guys, if any of you guys are being stretched over here, your boys like, yo, I want to jump in this restaurant. Yo, I want to do this over here. Yo, let's start doing trucks. Hey, let's start. Stick to what you know.
Yeah, invest into what you know.
Invest. Yeah. There's never enough. You can never tell me, hey, dude, I've done it all. I know it all. I've invested it all. I'm the best. No, you're not. You're far from it. There's always room to grow. Yeah. Trust me. Trust me.
And also investing into like what you know in a different aspect, meaning like taking courses and, you know, maybe going to seminars and maybe learning better, you know, more about a product. Investing into knowledge. Yeah. It's also a great thing. No, it doesn't also always have to be physical. Yeah. It could also be, you know, growing.
Well, that
personally.
Let's talk about that real quick, Eddie, because what you brought up is awesome. You have $500, you have $1,000. What do I do with it? What can I do to gain value? How can I multiply this? Put it in yourself. Put it in yourself, guys. You can learn something that can instantly bring you, you know, 1,000,000 times the value of that $1,000 over the course of X amount of years because you learned that trait or you thought of that while you were sitting there talking to this individual. Whatever it is, change your perspective. All of that has to do with, you know, growing internally, which goes back to the beginning of the podcast.
There you go.
The second before last thing on the list, guys, is we're not going to take anything for granted anymore. Right. This year, 2024, has to be one of the scariest years for hurricanes. We're getting into the cold temperatures now. We've had freezing temperatures in the 20s in the northern, third quarter of Florida up, you know. And it's just been a brutal year when it comes to our industry.
It has.
You know, like I talked
and
to
a lot
friends.
of our friends. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I talked to friends, man, and some of them have lost it all. Well, one of our landscaper guys that we service, he lost his house, basically flooded, so he had no house. This is a guy that has adopted 4 kids, and he had 2 of his own. So a man of God, a man of faith. His wife had cancer, you know, bad, man. It's just a rough life.
Right.
So he's a landscape designer that is very well known, and he freelances most of his stuff. So he has a waiting list of about 2 years.
Wow.
Okay. This is who this man is. But I call him, he calls me, hey, I got this order, I need it done. He's like, I'm trying to find guys. He goes, all my guys left. And I was like, what do you mean all your guys left? He's like, yeah, they all left because of construction. To go do construction cleanup, they're offering double the amount that I'm paying them.
Right.
And I was like, man, I don't believe it. So he has an opportunity to get this, this next landscape. Like, project. Well, it's there already. The opportunity's there. But he can't go make money during cleanup. He can't, he's stuck. So it's those type of stories that it's a pressure that, let's say, you don't have to deal with at the moment. Don't take it for granted. And also stock up, guys. Everything you feel like you should have had in 2024, 2025 is the year to go make sure you have that. One of the garden centers that we supply, rough 2 months, same thing like us, everyone 2 months, What did he need? A credit line. So go do it, bro. Go get it. If you guys have an asset, you're in this industry, and you're relying on cash flow, and you have an asset, something that you've already put away for the future, don't be scared to at least have it. That's the biggest step. Going to the bank and going and getting a credit line. I know I talk about this like if it's nothing, just because I've been doing it for a long time, but that right there, guys, can be huge. If you have 100 in equity or 200 or 500, doesn't mean you have to use it. It just means you have it. It's being prepared, because then when you need it, you need 10 grand, 20, 30. All you got to do is click it over from one account to the other on your app on the phone. It takes a minute, and you took care of your problem. And then you're paying 10%. Yeah, but in a year. It takes a whole year to pay 10%. You can learn how to create so much with that money. And you can learn how to use, like what the internet says, use their money and really, grow your portfolio. That's true. But you got to know how to do it and how to position yourself. There's a lot that even goes into being able to get a credit line, but these are things that we know and we practice every day. So when it comes to our coaching and mentorship, the value is extreme. Because, something that we've been doing for a long time.
And just to go back, like hurricane season this year was ridiculous. And the green industry is a very risky business. Very risky. When it comes to the wholesalers too, especially because we're growing the product that's going to be at the landscape. And, it's just a risky business. And I know a lot of our friends did get hit. And,
houses and everything.
And Tampa and all those areas, Georgia. And it's just not taking things for granted in that aspect. Like, we were blessed this year that we didn't get touched with one of these hurricanes that came through. And, our blessings go out, or, our prayers go out to, everybody that did get hit. And, hopefully you guys were able to reestablish yourself and get back into a rhythm where...
No, there's a lot of loss. I saw a lot of loss in many different parts, and loss is going to take a couple of years to get back. Even loss of inventory, meaning that now, let's say a specific grower of that inventory, that one plant, they moved 70% of that plant in the market. They got hit, and there's no more of that. So there's going to be, shortages of product, and that's just what it is. So it's us as an industry learning from it and pulling together. And that's why relationships mean so much, man. If you can build a relationship with someone today, guys, do it. And those are your brothers at the end of the day, your brothers and sisters that come through. And you guys become warriors, for each other for a bigger purpose. It's like a wolf pack. I'd rather have a wolf pack.
And with that being said, you could go to our last topic, which is no longer growing every variety of everything or hopping on trends and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's one thing, yeah. So trends, guys, are plants that you see somebody else trying to, you see them moving it and you're like, oh, I want to do it. It doesn't mean it's going to move for you. Doesn't mean we're going to move for you. You need the client. Don't forget that. And then the other thing is having 60, 70 varieties of things. That's a whole other thing. You're starting, guys. You guys are starting off. My recommendation is 1 to 3 items. I wouldn't do more than that. and I would become the best at growing that product, and I would invest all my money back into learning how to make it better. If you learn how to make a plant better in 6 months and get it to its best potential, or in a year, you learn how to do that, that means the rest of your career, you'll be making the best product. And that's where you want to be. You want to position yourself to do the best, to be the best. You know, even if you're not the best, but you give it your best. And that is where you want to be, because it gives you the best outcome at the end of the day. When you're doing a bunch of different varieties, the water patterns are different, the spray schedules are different, everything is different depending on what you're doing. And now you're growing smaller amounts of things, which you'll sell out faster. So you have one little block of 200 of this or 500 of this, and what happens is one guy comes, wipes them out, and now you don't have for anybody else. So now your opportunities to grow, or that's it, you're limited them in that item. Like to grow with more people, building relationships, coming through. You lose the opportunity because you sold it all to the first guy that showed up because you barely had anything. Because you're doing 100 different varieties.
Oh, I see. So smaller patches.
3
of
to
that
1,
particular,
3 to 1
so
items.
grow a lot more of
A
that
lot
3 to
more,
1.
a lot more, and become the guy in that.
Yeah, got it.
You know, and that's something that we've done, and it's positioned us in many different positions, and it's allowed us to become known for an item, and that's what you want. You want to have your name, like what you grow, tied to your name, and you want to be known as that guy. Like the guy I just talked about, that 70% of the market, he positioned himself. So that's what all of us need to do. All of us, everybody needs to do that. You need to be striving to have the best.
The best product and
the best that you
service.
can. And you need to think into the future. You got to look at what you're putting in that you don't have today. Because we always think of and look at our pocket. It's like, oh, our pocket's empty. How am I going to give if my pocket's empty? You put more love, you give more into the product, and what happens is you get more for the product. That's just how life works, guys. It works like that. You got to give up for today to show up tomorrow. That's literally how it works. But you guys listening, I already know that you guys know that. Yeah. So this is like a closeout intro to close out 2024 into 2025. What I want you guys to know is I want you guys to look at 2025 very optimistic, okay? I feel like it's going to be a very powerful year. And I also want you guys to understand what it is to build a relationship, and also respect yourself and have faith and walk a specific way and show up. I speak to a lot of you landscapers like, dude, how do you have your guys come every day? And it's like, dude, it starts with you. Look within and see where you're at as a person. You know, are you showing up? Are you holding yourself accountable? All of these things, if you are a business owner listening to this, and if you're an employee listening to this, and you walk by faith, don't forget that we serve humans to please God. So when you show up to work, give it 100%. Okay? Love the fact that you have an opportunity to go and pour into that job. Have a different perspective, and I promise you that 2025 will be the most powerful year that you have ever had. And I'm not talking about just money. I'm talking about powerful year in general. A lot of growth. And that's what I see, guys. I love you. We love you. We're blessed to have you here at the end of this podcast if you're listening right now. And we want the best for you. If you guys need anything from us, we're here. We're called to create a movement for the green industry. We're not here to do anything else. And we're sticking around. So we love you guys. There's some stuff. There's some stuff coming up in January, and the FNGLA, the TPIE plant show in Fort Lauderdale. So if you guys, we're gonna be walking it one of the days, most likely. Yeah. We don't know yet.
Which day exactly?
We don't know which day exactly, but you can stay tuned on Instagram, and we'll be letting you guys know what day we're gonna walk it. And also,
let us know if you guys want us to stop by your booth. Don't forget.
Yeah, let us know if you want to stop by your booth. If you want to do any work with us, you want to jump on a podcast, you want to do anything like that, reach out, guys. Don't hesitate. Now's the time. Now's the time. All right, let's start building that relationship. Let's start making your goals a reality.
Yeah, and see what you're doing to innovate in this industry.
100%,
See, where you're at and market. Take the opportunity to market. Yeah. This is a great opportunity to show
regardless
the
of
world what you do.
Position yourself. Yep. You can be a lawyer and come position yourself right here on the podcast as the contract god.
Yeah, you never know.
And you can position yourself. Guys, we love you. God bless you.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Happy holidays. All right, until next one. We love you. Bye. God bless. Bye.
Time for the blueprint. Minds to elevate, thrive, and demonstrate, planting a movement. Sow the seeds, educate the flourish, building up the team. Our network with purpose, industry is green. Only scratch the surface, know this call is deep. Nobody gon' outwork us. Yeah, we chasing greatness, trying to give the code. Moving up with patience, foundation stone. Doing what it takes, we're here to break the mold. This for anyone who wanna level up. Let's grow.